In this video, we're going to study the 3 stages of production in a slightly different context. What we have here is a schedule of, we got wheat yield over here. This is the yield you get in bushels per acre. Over here are different scenarios of a amount of nitrogen you might apply per acre. And as you would expect, the more nitrogen you apply, more nitrogen fertilizer per acre, the higher the yield you get. Now notice this, you always have the option of not producing any wheat, and that's what this first row is. But we're always, in this video, we're always going to be talking about putting down nitrogen to get more wheat, so we can just ignore this first row. Throughout this video, we're going to be using a very important term called the marginal product. And the marginal product is just, we're talking about a production where you're using inputs to get outputs. And the marginal product is the additional output, which in this case is yield, from using one more unit of input. Input here is nitrogen. And in this example, we don't see nitrogen going up by units of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. They go up in units of 10. So here we just approximate the marginal product as, and what you do is you take the new yield, you subtract the old yield, and divide it by the new level of nitrogen and the old level of nitrogen. Consider what happens when we go from using 0 pounds of nitrogen to 10 pounds of nitrogen. This increases yield from 23 to 25. And so our marginal product over that range is going to be the new yield, 25, minus the old yield of 23, divided by new nitrogen 10, minus old nitrogen 0. You're going to get 2 divided by 10. And so I'll put 0.2 as the marginal product for going to 0 to 10 pounds of nitrogen. What that means is that over that range from 0 nitrogen to 10 pounds of nitrogen, we tend to get 0.2 more bushels per acre for every additional pound of nitrogen we apply. Now let's see what happens when we go from 10 pounds of nitrogen to 20 pounds. We see yield go from 25 to 30.5. So here our marginal product is going to equal 30.5 minus 25 divided by 20 minus 10. As you're probably catching on, the denominator is always going to be 10 in these cases. Let's get 5.5 divided by 10, or 0.55. And when I do the calculations for all the other rows, I get the values you see here. Now I'd like you to notice two things. One is when we go from 0 to 20 pounds of nitrogen per acre, the marginal product is rising. At first we just get 0.2 bushels for every additional pound of nitrogen we apply, but we keep applying more, and then we're getting 0.55 bushels per pound of nitrogen we apply. Over this range, we see that nitrogen is becoming more productive, and that's why over that range it's in stage 1 of production. And then for all the other values of input usage, we see the marginal product is declining. The nitrogen is getting less productive the more that you use. And I'm going to change that color to black so that you can see it better. So if we're graphing the relationship between nitrogen on the x-axis and yield on the y-axis, what we'll do is between 0 and 20 pounds of nitrogen per acre will be in stage 1, and the curve will have an increasing slope because nitrogen is becoming more productive. And then From 20 and onward, we're in stage 2 of production, and the slope will start falling, but yield is still increasing because the nitrogen is still increasing yield. Draw this a little better.